once again.
If you guys want to see cat butt, I've got cat butt for days.
Oh yeah, that hot premium content.
Oh, thank God you said premium content and not followed hot with anything else.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I mean, like maybe we could do a design cast stream, but yeah, we're doing Ironclaw today. Also, yeah, you just go, buddy. Can you find the floor? You found the floor! Yay!
Yeah.
He's. I fed him on the break, and so I was going, "What do you mean? I thought there was going to be more food. I thought it was never going to end."
Right. Wait. What? Already?
Somebody needs portion control.
Yeah, and my cats are learning that the hard way as well. But they're gonna get snacks after this. Yeah, so let's get back into it. You guys headed back to the abbot town of Harmony. And as you approach the gates, you can see that leaving from the same gate that you're approaching, there seems to be a unit of 8 or so armored horses. As you approach, you can identify these as the signal guard horses. They are being led by Raymond, the head of the guard, who you guys met before on your first trip to Harmony. He's very identifiable because of the long tusk scar that he received on the side of his face that gives him a permanent scowl. And standing in front of them, blocking their path, is a diminutive boar woman dressed in the robes of the abbess of Harmony. A woman you also met before, Colette, the boar priestess, abbess, and she is standing stubbornly in his path with her hands on her hips. You can see that they're shouting at one another, but you can't make out what they are saying just yet.
Abbess is the feminine of abbot, right?
Correct.
Okay, sorry, I just never heard the word before.
Yeah, it's a weird one too, and I was just like, but no, abbess. So, yeah, in fact, so as you get closer, you can see that Raymond is barely controlling his temper as his men stand sort of passively behind him, and he says, out of my way, I'm simply doing what needs to be done.
Which is the abbess of what church?
Harmony. Harmony has an abbot, an abbey, right? There we go.
I'm sorry, not what church, what denomination? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Denomination. So it's basically it's a sect of Salomare worship, but it's sort of like...
Is it the one that mixes Doloro beliefs with it's a heterodoxy. The heterodoxy hits
it's that one.
It combines both and satisfies no one.
Exactly. I want to say that it was called like the Cenobites or something in the book. I can double check that though.
Palagency or something.
So I've read them all and I've forgotten most of their names.
I know, and I'm bad at those things in particular. But yeah, suffice it to say, they are a heterodoxy of Salomar worship that kind of incorporates some of the Lutera goddess worship in there as well, and it's led by this abbess, which normally, from my understanding, the Salomar sects don't really like elevate women to positions of religious power that much.
Oh no! In fact, the original canonical pontiff was a woman.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, in any case, this is a boar woman who...
Averdapla domain, there's a whole bunch of crazy sexism going on, but that's a different story.
Well, we are in Averdapla domain.
It's worth noting that the nunnery is on the west, out of Averdapla, domain.
Mm-hmm.
Connor, I can't help but notice that there's a little bit of a scuffle happening, and you're a noble, and you could mediate.
I could. Yeah, he'll approach.
Mediate, and I push him.
He goes mediate.
As you approach,
forward from the push, he clears his throat.
They both sort of notice you, and Raymond brings his tone down a few levels, and they give you sharp bows. But you can see that both of them are like this close to fisticuffs. And they say, "My lord, if you will excuse me," Raymond says, "I have a mission to complete." And as he says that, Colette says, and I refuse to allow it. They're going to go and harm an innocent in the name of petty retribution, and I refuse to stand here and let it happen. Respectfully, my lord.
All right, what's the horse's name?
Raymond. I'll type these in the chat. Hold on.
Thank you. Raymond, what is this duty you are to perform?
And that's not how you spell harmony, but
What happened?
You
Why are we
guys know.
dead air?
sorry. I was just typing in
Yeah, just typing.
the names of these two characters for reference
sorry, I
into
got
the
nervous.
Roll20
Yeah,
chat.
yeah, sorry. Connor is the one out there talking to these people in private. So
That's what I thought.
while Connor is waiting for information, that's why we have dead air.
Sorry.
So yeah, no, that one's on me. All right. So Connor, you asked the nature of the mission. Was that
Yes.
all right? Raymond says, "Well, when last we met, we spoke of the hated witch to the north, the one responsible for the outbreaks, the rioting and the burning of our signal tower. And I've decided, rather than sending out scouts who have obviously failed, else they would have returned by now, I'm going to go see to this matter myself, me and the rest of the able-bodied guard who were not wounded in the attack."
If I had news for you, might that change your mind?
News of the witch's death, perhaps?
I see. This witch you speak of is not responsible. We have been accosted by slavers, and they'll give direction. And I guess Anushka might have already drawn that map and given it to him, or is at least able to draw the map.
I can describe the area. In fact, I'm better off in conversation because I have better conversational skills than art skills. I can describe the area in great detail and give people landmarks. So if someone debriefs me, I'm more than happy to talk to them
So he'll
about that.
just say, my messenger here can tell you where they are, where they're holed up.
You see, Raymond, you're going off half-cocked again. You have no idea what you're doing, and innocence will suffer, says Colette.
Yes, if you don't take care of these slavers, then more of your men will be taken by them and sold to light knows where.
All right, I would like you, Connor, to give me a negotiation check. Will you mind a negotiation? Or actually, let's do will and negotiation to reason with someone.
All right.
And let's see. Others may use inquiry in their role. I think, and we'll do this as a contested role. He will use inquiry and will, which is basically just going to be a D8.
I mean, Connor got max rolls, so.
Ooh, okay. Well, he does have a D8. Let's see. There's a chance. No. All right.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
All right. Raymond, he shows a moment of hesitation as he considers what you've said. And he says, forest bandits were not responsible for this. And he points to the ruined scaffolding of the signal tower. But I understand that
either, good Raymond. And I assume somebody who knows what green and purple magic is has at least told Connor about that.
Do we?
I do. I'm studied and versed in such things.
You got supernatural skill, right?
Yes.
So I don't know who of us did. I forgot your light.
Yeah,
I think you're the only one.
You may speak to a doctor about who may or may not have been responsible for the burning of the signal tower. We'll all give you our reports. But until you've seen our reports, please do stay your hand.
All right. He looks at you and he looks at Colette, who's got her arms crossed across her chest, and has kind of like a haughty air about her now. And he looks at his men and he says, "You make well. I do not. I still believe that this witch is behind it. But if there's banditry afoot, then the people here do need to be protected. I suppose we will hear what you have to say and reevaluate our strategy then."
Not just banditry, but slavers, a far worse danger.
Well, these regions are no stranger to slavery. The border is notorious for such things, but we will not have it here in Harmony. That I assure you. It seems like you have basically deflated his mission to go out and find the witch. So he will return with the rest of you. Colette gives like just a grateful sigh and a deep bow to you, Connor, and says, he really is a danger to himself now and to the rest of us, but I appreciate you halting this senseless crusade of his. Tell me,
Glad I made it here to do what I could.
You are the light's blessing for going and doing what you did. You went to the village, I assume, and you found. You investigated their claim. What did you find specifically? I'm sure that together we can sort through this madness.
I'm trying to remember the details that Connor knew to tell her.
And that's fine. We just say that you related it as we were
her on what they found.
Have we spoken to Colette before?
You have, yes. The first time you arrived at Harmony, she and the doctor actually had a rapport when he helped heal a bunch of the people who were injured in the riot. And she seems like, in terms of recap, she seems like she is sort of against. She's a pacifist. She's against the notion of conflict, and she doesn't like that Raymond tends to assume that everything is an act of war. Also, she has a soft spot for the followers of Lutera, of course, because of her background. So, she's like the one trying to find the middle path, which is not always.
I would like to say that Harmon's going to do something quite awkward here and say, okay, how would you like to discuss all of this over dinner?
Oh, that's interesting. She says, well, yes, we would gladly welcome you to the Abbey. We prepare pretty simple meals there, but you are all welcome.
Oh, I meant just you and me. I'll pay for dinner. So.
Oh, well, that's quite flattering, good sir. And then here's where I'm gonna have to step out of character for a second because I don't really know the celibacy laws when it comes to Salumer worship or Lutera worship.
I do appreciate you think Harmon works that fast that you've already got to backtrack to celibacy laws. But at the same time, I don't either. I don't think Harmon knows either. So
yeah, right. She would probably have. So let's just wing it, I guess. I think she would say that is probably a little bit personal for one in her station, and she's very busy. But if this is something you'd like to roll for, we could turn it into a negotiation thing.
Oh, he'll fail immediately. If she needs to be swayed by a negotiation roll, it ain't happening. Harmon's failed on the spot. This is a awkward turned shutdown on Harmon's part. Harmon, who doesn't go out there that often, doesn't put himself out there socially all that often. Well,
roll us that D4. It could succeed.
Hey, man.
Throw your personality on it.
I already used my personality today.
I think it took us the day to get back anyway, so...
this is not the time that Harmon would be. I'm relentless. That is creepy at the best.
So true.
I mean, I rolled the best that I could do.
Hey!
Success!
From Harmon's perspective, even if she proclaims herself as a pacifist, he is impressed by the way that she stood in front of 8 armed soldiers of the Abattoir in her beliefs. And I guess he kind of also likes how she's like an outcast amongst the world as the abbess of this whole belief system that nobody appreciates and still puts herself out there. But at the same time, Harmon is Harmon. He is not good with people. So if he gets shut down, he gets shut down. That's all that happens.
No, I like that though. She kind of like I already mentioned. She says, she's got a lot of responsibilities. It may not be proper, but what happens after that? So there's like a gentle letdown, and then she'll say that like, but if you are interested in speaking on matters of theology, there is a tea ceremony essentially that we do daily in the afternoons. And if you'd like to attend one of these, I would gladly enjoy your company there. She doesn't know, they did not have prior communication. This is the first thing that Harmon has ever said to her. And she's at least taken aback, but intrigued.
Yeah, dumb as bricks, illiterate Harmon. Go speak about theology at a tea ceremony.
Also, a huge arm to the teeth, muscle bound dude. But yeah.
Yeah, coming on to a pacifist sounds appropriate.
Right. But she's not going to turn anyone away, especially if there's a chance that they could be a follower of the light. So if you'd like, you've got a tea date with her.
Assuming that we're in town tomorrow.
Correct. Okay. In terms of the conversation, so Raymond. Raymond returns to his barracks. I guess it's up to you guys. Do you want to have this basically share your findings with Colette or with Raymond? Or would you like to try to get them together and share it as a group?
Well, the guards do need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we share it as a group, then we have to repeat ourselves less.
I mean, in spite of the conversation I just had, why would we need to keep Colette in the loop?
No particular reason. She seems sympathetic to you, but it's your call.
Right. But I mean, she's not actually in charge of anything that would be responsible for this. She's not in charge of the signal network. She's not in charge of defending it. Literally, she has no responsibility to any of this.
Well, then we can just talk to Raymond about it.
Okay. All right. So you go and you meet him at the barracks, and you share the information that you have, which off the top of my head is that you definitely encountered slavers. That they seem to be wearing matching uniforms, and they appear to attack in coordination. That they have potentially hideouts all throughout the woods in this area. That you heard they were led by you heard that there was a powerful mage amidst their ranks named Rodolfo. I'm trying to remember actually how much of this came out from Francis, the rat that you guys captured last session. And I don't exactly remember the details, but we'll say that he's Francis had told you that this guy was a master of mind magic. He could cloud your minds. He could make you hear and see things that weren't real.
Is the naming scheme of people generally all, location based? If I heard the name Rodolfo, would I think, oh, he's probably from Triskellion or Three Corners or something like that? Do people in the Abattoir territory, they don't typically name their people the same way? Or, I mean, I get that you could fall into the whole, hey, people born in Triskellion could move to the Abattoir and then name their kid. But I'm just saying, is it generally that kind of consensus that if I heard Rodolfo, I think Rinaldi or Triskellion or that sort of thing?
Probably, yeah. There's definitely like regional types of names in the book, and I'm trying to stick with that. So, yeah, Rodolfo would have kind of a metropolitan vibe to it.
I mean, it certainly doesn't sound like he's from the Abattoir area with a name like Rodolfo.
True. So you convey this information, and Raymond seems reluctantly intrigued by parts of it. He says you'll still have to convince me if this Rodolfo is real. And how do you know that this is not just a story made up by this this bandit that you had captive who would say anything to save his own skin?
Well, this bandit did not know of the attack on on it, was it?
Harmony.
Harmony. Unless he had been there to have seen that kind of magic, which is also matches reports given to us by I don't remember his name, the guy we were fighting with.
Norbert.
It also matches reports given us by Norbert of mind control and wizards in purple robes. I think we have enough collaborating lines of evidence to say that this is indeed a real threat.
All right. Well, then what do you propose that we do?
Well, with more men, we could certainly clear the slavers' den and possibly free anybody they haven't sold yet.
Well, no one has answered my requests for reinforcements thus far. I think they're operating under the tactical notion that we should reinforce the surviving signal towers. But perhaps this will change the minds of the higher ups in the organization.
We're dealing with a highly mobile force. They might be able to go between signal towers quite quickly.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps. Well then, I suppose the next course of action would be to contact the my superiors in the Avoirdupois army, military, and then see if they agree with you, my lord. And then once we have those reinforcements, we can investigate this claim further, perhaps root out these bandits, and also perhaps find this witch that is in collusion with them.
Yes, it sounds like a good way to proceed. And out of character, if we have possibly finished a goal in the course of play or in the course of today's play, would it be possible for me to claim not ally, I've already got ally, but gang of irregulars, and say that maybe some of my father's men have shown up and I have now some soldiers?
We want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
We heard you were noble and rich, so we thought we'd hang out with you.
We heard you were in this general area, so we just showed up here today.
Well, that's the definition of hanger on.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he's a bunch of people from his father, which meant they traveled here from a distance, not people that he gathered in this town.
Just throwing out ideas that don't have to. If they don't make sense, they don't make sense.
Well, also, I was going to throw out while we're in the meta real quick, if Connor is the only one talking, that maybe bring up that you have a great messenger who could get the message there faster than anybody else.
All right, then they'll mention that I have a speedy messenger in my employ.
Oh, sure. Yes. No, that would be helpful. Our men are, well, we have no flyers here working for the guard currently, so if they could make it, I mean, he's very sort of blasé about that. If they could make the journey in an adequate time, then surely, yes, we can send the message. I assume, let's say that this message has got to go to Shalon Sasoldra, because I imagine that's sort of where a lot of the strategic organization comes from.
What's the capital, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
So, arguably, on one hand, it's where the leadership is. So, on the other hand, no, not a lot of intelligence coming out.
Ah. Yeah. It looks like, what are we looking at here? These are two, just eyeballing this, but that looks like 12, 24.
Really feel like we should
like
we should add at some point a Calabria map to the list of maps.
Yeah.
So we have like
You're
a
definitely
pin.
not wrong.
Yeah, so we have like a pin of "you are here" sort of scenario.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I will set that up for next session to be sure, because we are doing a lot of map working, and it would be handy to have that. Based on my calculations, it'd be a 30-league trip to Chalons to Soldier. 5 by 6, that would be 5 days of overland travel.
Even at Anushka speed.
Well, at Anushka's speed, and we said that you can travel like 3 times faster when you're flying. Is that right? Let's just spitball it and say it would be 2 days.
Yeah,
2 days there and 2
always
days back.
ideal when you fly.
Yeah. 3 days there, 3 days back. If you were just taking your route and getting the job
normally
done.
on the map, it's 1 box is 1 day of travel if you're on a road.
Oh, okay, 1 box. All right.
Yeah, they're 6 leagues apart, and 6 leagues is the default travel distance. Anything less than a road, though, is less than ideal, unless you fly.
I think my map is using double boxes. Oh, I have the black and white version. I have the soft cover, and it's kind of hard to see the mini one, so I'm using double boxes.
You can download the map for free.
Download
on RPG now.
Yep. Also on Drive Thru.
Okay, cool. Drive Thru RPG too. Yeah, there's a free download.
I will pick that up, and I will put it into the Roll20 chat so we can all look at it.
See if I can find the. Let me see if I can get the JPEG for you.
But yeah, if we send Anushka to carry the military orders back to the capital, we could have that and have their comeback a lot faster. In addition, I guess I get to go on a tea date.
Yeah. Win-win. Yeah.
Send messages, have tea. Well, this sounds like a great plan overall.
Yeah, it's what I do.
Hey, we had our combat. That was most of the session was fighting things. So now it's time for tea. But let's see.
It's a Beauty and the Beast scenario, right? I'm far too big. I can barely hold the teacup in my hand.
You've got it like just resting in the palm of your hand, trying to like.
That or what was the name of the woman with King Kong? Was it Fay Ray? That's not Fay Ray, right?
Yeah, it was.
Was it Fay Ray? Yeah, so it's like Fay Ray King Kong scenario.
Yeah. So if that's what we're gonna do, and let's say that is what we're doing, you guys are gonna wait a couple days to hear word back from Anushka. Yeah. So Harmon will have his tea date. Connor will be receiving word from back home that, because I do like that the message has gone out. You probably let your family know that you are on the road to do this mission from the Archduke, and I think that if you put feelers out there for people, then they would be like, oh, this guy he's not just fighting for the family anymore. He's actually fighting for all of the Avoirdupois territory. Like he's on a quest of sorts.
It's very weird how he's put all of his messages with this like flame background. I have no idea.
It's inspiring.
It's kind of
stirs the
terrifying
heart
at the same time.
So,
I don't even know how he does that.
Writing to you from hell to tell you.
Yeah, so Anushka will be out. Doctor, there it is. Beautiful. What is the doctor gonna do with this free time?
Well, there is an abbey. There's still people who are injured and probably need more care. And I'm not writing messages to people or anything, but there is Raymond, and he's excited to be here and do stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's really much special he needs to do other than hang out with the abbess and make sure things are going fine. Maybe see how she feels about this situation.
Ruin a date.
Okay. And ruin a date. Do you guys want to? Do you want to be the awkward third wheel
on the date? But we have a whole day. I can find another time to talk to her than when she's having tea with Harmon.
Assuming that the tea goes nowhere. Perfect. Got it.
I think the tea. Well, I don't know. Do you want to roll for it? I was not ready for a flirtatious evening with a.
You could always set it up for
Potentially
next time
solid-
with an entire scenario where Harmon has to roll every social skill.
Why? Just assume the
There you
first roll
go.
fails and we're done. And Harmon is not social.
Where's the fun in that, though?
Well, because if you're gonna
You
plan
have
out
to see
a
how
whole,
deep in the hole he gets.
if you're gonna plan out a whole thing, I assure you, it's going to go wrong on the first roll. And then, where is your planning
Downhill from
going?
there.
Where's your god
Yeah,
now,
that's-
Flanders?
How bad is? It's a matter of degree. How bad can this go?
Potter
But
bad.
no, I wouldn't. Potter levels of bad.
Whatever you imagine Potter has said to everybody the moment before they died, Harmon will say by accident.
Why are you so mean to Potter?
He's killed people through inaction.
Through inaction, through fumbles, attempts at saving people.
Because
Well,
when the
we're-
moment that you need him the most, Potter always rolls a 1 on a rally.
He always
It's
chokes.
we didn't hire him to be a rallier. What even is his job?
This
He's
is the
a
moment we
farmer.
all realize we don't even know who Potter is. He's just a Shinigami. He's here to collect the souls of the dead.
What is Potter's occupation again?
Farmer.
Farmer. He was a farmer. Now
Yeah,
he's
he
a
has no
squire.
business being here. He's a farmer.
Yeah, he's a farmer. He works Potter's field.
Well,
did just sort of
He reaps
adopt
and
him.
he sows.
did he get officially like sworn in? I think when you guys were at Femerouge.
Don't think so. I think in canon I'd have to train him at least
I
the
thought you
first
did.
other two.
Well, you'd have to buy him an extra career, I think, and that means he'd have to have the
Yeah, you
gifts.
can buy him. Well,
Mm.
you can change his career because a character can change career if they
Mm.
already have all 3 gifts that career needs.
And that's what I mean. Like to become a noble, he would need the gift nobility, and I'm training him to become a
Mhm.
knight,
Plus, you'd
which
also need
takes 2 gifts plus
you
nobility.
need a campaign excuse for him to become a noble. He's not from a noble bloodline.
Yeah.
He'd have to be enfranchised somehow.
So what you gotta do? No, it's not gonna be Weekend at Bernie's. I've got another plan. you just need to get yourself impaled on a sword and have Potter somehow save you so that you are a blood debt or a life debt, some might say, that you can only repay by giving him land and title.
There you go. I mean, it sounds like it
call it
really
the
depends on
Chewbacca
time and
defense.
place. Yeah, it sounds like a very much of a time and place thing. Whether knights have to be nobility or not. Do knights in Ironclaw require the nobility gifts? Because it could be a case of
That's
you
the
elevate
definition
your
of
state.
a knight is a noble who hurts people.
Well, I mean,
He could still
Okay.
train to be a soldier specifically by Connor, who's adopted him here. But
Well,
if he's going to become a knight, he does need a title.
what if...
Yeah,
What if the Aphodopois king decides to sign up for a joust in disguise and nobody else wants to joust him because they know he's the king and you don't want to,
Yes. What was
but
that
Potter
again?
is the only one who has the guts to joust against the king and the king's going to respect that. So when Potter
Knight's
goes...
Tale.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Look, if
your
we
end.
don't say the name of it out loud and people hadn't watched the movie, it'll still be a journey.
It is quite a journey.
We
Oh, that's true.
we will rock you.
Yeah, come on, you can't beat the soundtrack to A Knight's Tale.
All right. Well, so yeah, in the meantime, we are getting low on time, but we're not out just yet. So before we go, I want to ask the doctor if there's any particular questions he has for Colette over the days that he's working at the Abbey.
Right. I guess I would just sort of ask, like, well, we've seen a lot of slavers in this area. This definitely isn't normal, is it?
She says, unfortunately, the slavery is one of the many crimes that exists on the borders here. The men, the soldiers, and the towns, they concern themselves more with the attacks from the Doloro than the outlaws and the bandits that plague us.
I see.
However, something on the scale that you're discussing, it's it's horrible. It's hard to think about.
It's a true criminal empire, if nothing else. I worry that they might have backing if they have this many to their name. Or perhaps have gone through some other method.
Have you mentioned the plan? I know you guys said you mentioned it to Raymond, and I'm assuming
at this point I'd
pieces.
probably be the one mentioning it to her specifically, just
Well,
because
I don't know.
we're
I figured,
share occupation.
I mean, I figured Harmon was actually going to have that discussion at some point
Mm-hmm.
with her. I know I'm the one that specifically was like, well, she doesn't need to know, right? But I mean, at the same time, Harmon's there. Harmon's bad at social situations, and Harmon doesn't know what to talk about.
Exactly. What is he going to talk about? Talk about your work, I guess. Yeah.
I lift heavy weapon. I drop heavy weapon. Is good.
He's illiterate. He's not like a... I would say he's not an idiot, but he does have a D4 mind. Who knows? In my mind, he's talking normal, but who knows what you people hear.
I like that. It's all about perspective. Okay. Well.
Yes. Apparently, they go by a name, and the name was way up here. If I'm going to remember it, Rodolfo.
There you go.
Of
That's
course,
right.
I haven't heard of any sort of grand wizard like that. So not my social circle.
She kind of, she furrows her brow in concentration and says, "I've heard that name. I don't know, about a wizard or warlock who carries the name Rodolfo, but there was a scholar south of here who I think was quite well respected in certain circles. Perhaps I can make some inquiries for you, and it is a long shot, but if they happen to be the same individual, then it could mean terrible things for, specifically for who is bankrolling this group of slavers and bandits."
Right. It's possible that when Connor receives his allies and heads out, we may stop him, but not really solve the source of the problem. If there is a connection, and you're able to find it through your connections, then that would give us something to explore, I think, and put an end to.
Exactly. And once again, I'm grateful for here. If it were left to the military minds of our day, they would gladly just burn the forest and assume the situation had been resolved. But I think you and I both know that there is greater forces at play here. It is quite troubling.
Indeed. The hearts of men are dark indeed, aren't they?
Dark and easily swayed. And at this point, I think we should wrap it up for today.
Hold on. There's at least one more question that has to be asked. Come on, Anonymous. You gotta be a good wingman here. Help me out.
I'm trying to think of a good wingman question. I'm failing. I'm a terrible wingman.
So, are you seeing anyone? Must be lonely in this big stone house you live in. All these celibate dudes hanging around.
I mean, pointedly, you did go to ask her question. You did go to talk to her after the tea ceremony, so...
I can't help but notice you talk to Raymond all the time. Our large soldier horse is your type.
Oh, that's bad.
I have a suggestion tree.
Oh, make your wingman roll, I guess.
Okay, I'll roll like negotiation, I feel.
Cool, let's do it.
Alright, so I assume this is gonna be my negotiation, so I'll roll 2d6. And hey, there's at least one success. I don't terribly botch this.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
All right.
It's not good. It's exactly how it sounds.
She says that Salumer teaches us that material love is selfish. However, the goddess worship Lutera teaches us that to listen to the heart above all else in matters such as these. It is a difficult position that the Harmony Abbey has placed itself in, bridging these two worlds. I'm sorry, that probably doesn't answer your question, but I have given thought to the matter. If your friend is patient, I would relish having further conversations with him in the future.
You hear that, Harbin? We could have tea again.
I'm not there.
That would be so creepy. Camera just pans over. Harmon's just like in the corner.
Around the corner waiting to listen.
Oh, I'm that.
He's like hiding, and I just like walk to the corner and talk at the corner very loudly, like, you hear that?
Yeah, Harmon the giant hiding around a corner.
Exactly.
It is like shiny red armor.
Yep, heart in his throat. All right. So, that is where we'll leave it on that steamy bit of romantic tension for today.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go, let's do the debrief. We're going to go through everybody and we're going to talk about the session, your character's motto, and also the goals and if we accomplished any. What do you guys think about goals this week?
I mean, we investigated the burned signal towers.
Right. I think we did complete the investigation. At this point, we're moving on to, can we do something about it?
Yeah, you guys remember that time during the middle of the fight I told those people to buy witch wine? I remember that. I swung my sword through 3 guys and said, "Try witch wine."
Which wine?
Yeah, you posed like up there, and Connor like had his foot up on the rock and like a bottle in his hand.
Oh, you guys are forgetting about when I inscribed witch wine on my battle area, so that every time I hit somebody, I'm advertising.
Yeah, I think we're probably not going to button that one up just yet.
Dude slapped me with his sword, and now I have buy witch wine on my side.
Exactly. In relief. But yes, you guys did investigate, and for that, I'm offering you, as a group, the gift of, I believe it's going to be Insider with the Avoirdupois military, since you guys are doing a lot of communicating through Raymond on this one.
Right that back in the soul backfield.
Yeah.
I'm a priest. I don't need that.
I mean, it'd be nice, but at the same time, I have goals.
Mm-hmm.
As groups go, it's maybe not the most worthless group to have Insider with, but, it depends on what you...
Better for, say, Connor here, I think, for sure.
By the transitive property of killing people, have I not sent a message to the syndicate?
Well, you're going to have to find the syndicate. To clarify the way that I approach these kinds of questy things is that, at any point you could say, like, hey, I want to go and look for... I don't think I ever mentioned this. The name of the import company that you dealt with is called the Dubois Import Company.
I think you did. I think you mentioned it back when we were trying to figure out a name for them. And
there you go.
Don't mind me. I'm just trying to weasel any way to get the experience. That's all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, gotcha. But yeah, I'm gonna say that's just gonna sit there until you poke it for for the time being.
Every time I go to kill somebody, I'm gonna say, "Do you work for the syndicate?"
Exactly. Right.
Hey, you guys running away! Remember the syndicate, or something.
Yeah, if you're part of a syndicate, or know anyone who's part of a syndicate,
send them a message. This message.
So yeah, all right. So you guys can definitely check off that goal. I was debating handing out another goal from that conversation with Colette, but I think you need a little more information first. So we'll pick up with that next time, next session. So before we go, we'll go around and ask people about playing their mottos and experience points, and we'll start with Theta. You think you played your motto today?
Yeah, I am stronger. I defeated multiple groups of 3.
I'd say so. All right. And Arcloid with Connor, how about you?
One hand washes the other.
All right.
I've been reciprocating, being helpful. It's been coming back to me. Oh, it's good.
Works for me. And Griffin playing Anonymous.
First, do no harm. Second, get paid. Connor, this personal quest of yours, it's not very profitable. Connor, Connor, find someone richer to attack.
I
Technically-
shall try.
Technically, you did do no harm, even though you tried to do harm at one point. No harm
Well,
was
it would have
actually
just
done.
confused them.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and that's debatable. As harm goes. All right, and Raf, how about Anushka?
No fear, serve with joy. So yeah, I did, when Norbert was getting his butt kicked, dive in there.
That's
I
true.
dived into melee combat twice and got my butt handed to me twice.
Yeah. I was knocked out and brought
What did I
back. I think that definitely counts. So everyone take an experience point for playing your motto this session. Is there anything else you guys would like to bring up about the game and the session? I think, Raf, you mentioned there was something earlier that you want to talk about. Debrief.
Oh,
I don't
no,
remember what it
well,
was.
I already forgot what I was angry about. No, I mean, I already asked about this. If the grid helps you with the combat, go ahead and do it. It's just, Ironclaw was written without a grid in mind, and so all the rules are designed to not use a grid, but people want to use one, so okay.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do it next time. We'll try this without the grid. I need to figure out how to set the scale of the measuring tool because I assume, right?
Well, you can
For
always set
positioning?
it. You can always set the things up with the grid for the measuring tool, and then turn
Right.
the grid off, and the measure will still be the same.
Also,
good thinking.
to clarify, the game is in metric, so just set the scale to metric and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll use
pace.
like a meter for a pace. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Had that whole conversation in the Ironclaw chat earlier where I posted the whole measuring thing.
Gotcha. Yep. And yeah, so let's try it. You guys have been patient, and I know that gridded is not the way you guys normally play this game. And I feel like I'm getting a better handle on the flow of combat, so maybe it won't be an issue. We'll give it a shot.
It's weird because, like I tell people, it's Warhammer 40k. I thought Warhammer 40k was popular, or Warhammer. Period. I thought Warhammer was popular.
Yeah.
We'll find out tonight.
Right.
One last Weasley question. Not a
Yeah.
chapter, right?
I don't think so. There's still more to this particular story.
Sorry, I'm looking at my experience numbers, and I have 9 experience. I'm like,
Oh
shit.
no. So
No, you can sell back skill marks for 2 points each.
I could.
Oh.
I just don't think I have any skill marks. Like, Harmon is built to such that I don't think anything he has is not valuable.
I know. Well, you're a minimaxer.
You
and
could buy another skill mark and then sell another gift.
I don't have any gifts that can't sell back. Like, literally,
I know.
Harmon is to the inch as where he needs to be. Like,
And you gotta wait.
yeah, I would get worse at something
No.
that's important to me to sell anything back.
I felt bad about giving GM advice, but I like the fact that the villains that we fight have sensible numbers and fight sensibly. Like everything I said was, we only have 2, we only have like 2, maybe 3 fighters, and the rest of us are commoners. And exactly what I described is exactly what happened during the melee. And so, I mean, we rolled crappy, but it's what I expected. And that's part of, I wouldn't have picked Anushka as my character if I didn't want to have the fear of commoner.
Yeah, and that's a big challenge with this game in particular. Is it's not that everyone is built for combat like in a D&D, where that's sort of the main event. And it can make some of the combats challenging. I appreciate that you guys who are not playing combat characters are wading through these long combats without a lot of dice to roll. I realize that.
We're growing into it because there's a goal system in the game with rewards. And the way experience points works, it's possible to become a combat character by trial by fire, which I know is confusing for some people because they're wondering, why did you give me free will? Doesn't that mean I can make, choices not my own best interest? And it's like, well, yeah, but if you want to get better at combat, you're supposed to get better at combat. So, it's like you said, it's not like D&D, where in D&D, when you level up, you get better at combat no matter what. And then most of your choices are, do you want to be even better at combat or you want to do something else? And so, no, I wouldn't have become a fencer if I hadn't picked up Gaston's sword.
Exactly. That's a perfect example. Anushka up to this moment probably had never had to fight for her life. And in the past month or so, she's had to do it a good number of times. So it makes sense for narrative as well. So yeah. Okay, if that was everything, then you guys got other games to get to, and I got to go feed some hungry cats. But it's been a pleasure.
Yep.
Right, and we'll see you
Thanks
next
for
time.
All right, see you guys
care.
next time.